Welcome to Master Concepts in Chemistry. In this lesson, we will discuss how to identify matter. So how can we identify matter? We can identify matter by what we call physical properties and also chemical properties. So what is a physical property? A physical property basically is a quality of a substance you can observe without changing the composition of substance. Now, the key term here is observe without changing the composition. Now, if we think about a substance like water is formed when hydrogen and oxygen react to form it. So if you observe the properties of water without breaking the bonds of hydrogen and oxygen that are held together to form your water, then the properties that you observe are what we call physical properties. So physical properties, you don't change the composition of the substance. It is the same old substance that you are watching. What is a chemical property? These are basically qualities a substance shows as it changes into or interacts with another substance. Now, for you to observe chemical properties, you have to have your substance interact with another substance. As the interaction is going on, then you'll be observing. Okay, so for you to observe a chemical property, you have to have some sort of interaction. So what are examples of physical and chemical properties? To list some examples, I'm going to write physical properties over here. And I'm going to write chemical properties over here. So what are examples of physical properties? So let's start with the basic ones. So color is a physical property. You can observe the color of a substance without changing the composition of it. So color is one. Texture also is another. You can feel the texture of something without changing it into a new substance. Density is also a physical property. Now, someone might ask, why density? Density can be measured by dividing the mass of your substance by the volume of it. So as you've seen, you can determine density without changing your substance into a new substance. And density is a measure of how atoms pack in a substance. And this packing is always unique to every substance. So once you know the density value, you can always look in a handbook to identify your substance. Melting point. Melting point also is a physical property. Once your substance is pure, it's going to have a unique melting point. And you can look it up in a chemistry handbook to identify the substance. Boiling point also is a physical property. So once your substance is pure, it's going to have a unique boiling point. So we all know water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at normal conditions. So that means that if you are boiling a liquid and it starts to boil at 100 degrees Celsius, then your liquid is likely to be water. Freezing point. You can also identify a substance by its freezing point. So these are a few physical properties. Now let's look at chemical properties. Chemical properties include the following. Toxic. Is my substance toxic? So toxicity is a chemical property. Is my substance acidic? So acidity is also a chemical property. Is my substance basic? So basicity is also a chemical property. Is my chemical corrosive? So corrosiveness is also a chemical property. Is my chemical reactive with other chemicals like acids, bases, and so on? So reactivity is also a chemical property. So these are a few examples of chemical properties. So as you can see, you can identify a substance based on physical properties and chemical properties. Thanks for watching.